Let's get to pick some bans for Game 2 and find out what happens. Will we see a Raijin ban against them? Will we see a Guan Yu taken away from him is the question.
I think you should. I think there's a ton of respect bans right now that teams should be looking at.
I was looking at the left.
I saw that too. I was like,
lightning bolt? What a cool thing. Leftovers are going to be first pick, first ban. Torpedo will be the Chaos side for this game and get the counter ban. So far, though, Torpedo have been Chaos all their games.
They seem to like the counter picks, but you
against
always
Pantera,
have to...
they both Chaos both games. Against Leftovers, Chaos both games. Can they find a Chaos win? That's the question.
Isis and Kronos going to be banned away by the Leftovers Torpedo. They do take out Khepri, but the question is, will it be a Guan Yu? Nope, they're going to stay with the same picks and bans, and
now
there goes Giannis.
You can't first pick Guan Yu here if Odin's on the table. That's the risk, right?
No.
You pick Guan Yu, Odin's on the table, you're going to have a bad time. Go with the Neith.
I mean, Leftovers, there's no reason to change this
Every game they've given Arkkyl Neith. They're quite happy to just
Are we going to have the
Neith
salty run
all the time.
back? Because every single run back has been a loss we've ever seen. We saw the
That's
Dignitas run back with Falcon.
That's more of a North American thing more often. Now and again we'll do it in
I
Europe,
feel like
but
it's
not
Europe more than anything.
We'll talk about that after. Sol, locked in for Torpedo. Potentially salty ruled back. Korinyo played very, very well on that.
Was it? No, they are actually going to take the Naja away. So a counter pick coming up. But for me, Hunbats is still available. And that god, I think, is better for jungler than the Naja. Obviously, they chose the Naja over the Hunbats last time, but the Hunbats works really well with Raijin as well. I'll be surprised if we don't see it in this spot.
Raijin locked in for Leftovers yet again. They're going to run it back.
Or Guan. You could Guan here, but Odin's up. And Odin... Thor, okay.
I was going to say, where's Thor been? Because lately Thor seems to have drifted from being that top, always pick jungler. He used to be Thor Hunbats.
You can never go wrong with Thor.
He's always safe.
Thor and Hunbats are the same, right? They may not always be the top pick, but they always come back. They're always there. They always have the option. It's a ton of setup, a lot of early pressure, a lot of damage. Raw taken from...
Torpedo taking a page out of Leftovers' old book here. Got the Nisha of Raw combo, which was those guys that liked it a lot, and then they banned Odin.
I like this. If you pick the Raw, you have to ban the Odin. Leftovers realize that the Guan likely to come as well. They're going to ban that away. And Torpedo, honestly, it looks like they're taking Leftovers' own style of play away from them.
Take away Bellona as well from the solo laner. Torpedo will have the counter pick option for Gamehunter too. Vermana taken away. Respect to Gamehunter's days of old more than anything else. And now it's back to Torpedo. More than likely looking for their support here.
It's going to be Bacchus picked up very good against a Raijin. If you can find him in the air, you can combo him out, specifically with Searing Pain coming out from Raw. And I like this. There's a lot of kind of individual pick-off setup from Torpedo right now. A lot of skill shots coming out from Raw and Naja. So if those players really aren't on point at the time, it is a risk to run. On the other side, Leftovers looking for a lot of CCA control to set up Raijin. Athena going to be locked in and looking for the solo laner.
You always want Badgah to be leading in some way, and Athena's a prime example of a leader. If you can't get Guan Yu for the sustain and set the backside of the team, then at least you can get the big taunts off, and Tyr will be the final pickup for Nika in the solo lane. I like the Tyr pick to round out this comp, be a frontline menace alongside Thor.
If he picks Robin here, Gamehunter is just going to go straight into Osiris and continue to bully him.
Do you reckon Osiris?
He might go Osiris as well. I just like the fact that Leftovers went Tyr instead of Robin there, because basically Nika knows he's going to lose that matchup versus Osiris. He just played it. Not something he wants. And Apollo, here we go.
What?
Soul, it's
Apollo solo.
It could be Soul solo.
It's Gamehunter Apollo. I can see it being solo.
That's not like anything he's ever played. It's not like, that's not like, neither of these gods are anything we've seen from Gamehunter, so it could go either way.
I mean, he plays Hunters before, yeah, I knew
so it is.
Yeah, it's Gamehunter, Apollo, solo. He's done it before in the past a long time ago, and that's why I was like, I mean, when he
not in the SPL, not in competitive matches.
When he first transitioned to the solo lane, he was playing Anher back then, which is very, very similar. He's done the odd game of Apollo in the Challenger Cup previously as well, so he's going to run that, and he's going to go with a golden bow start.
And maybe that's the reason he is playing Apollo, is because of the golden bow going to allow him to help clear up against the Tyr.
This is a god that should benefit more from going golden bow at the beginning of the game.
Also, to note, very good against Thor ganks.
Good against Thor ganks. Also good against Tyr, too. In terms of being able to mez just as the Fearless is about to hit you.
The question is Gamehunter going to want to like risk putting himself in those positions? And probably he will, right? Gamehunter is that guy who wants to kind of outplay you and win the lane. Over on the other side, we have Moex playing Soul, so we'll get his first kind of showing on a magical god this season. I don't think he played Kronos.
I like what Nika's done here as well. He's not taken teleport just yet. He's just held his relic for now to see what's going on with Gamehunter. Gamehunter has actually gone for purification. He's going to rely on his ultimate to get back to lane if he needs to, or just the ability to clear the wave and get there. Nika has the option to not have to go for the teleport if he doesn't need to. If he realizes that Gamehunter's not done it, if he doesn't take it, Tyr with 2 relics and one of them's not teleport could be more impactful.
There's actually 0 reason to walk into lane with teleport. There's basically 0 reason because you're not. I guess there is a little reason if you want to try some janky strats with teleporting over to like a ward or like the dual lane early. But if it's not something that you've planned, it's unlikely that you'll see it happen. In the mid lane though, leftovers gonna have early control against the raw Naja Thor, contributing a lot to that. Both mid harpies are up. Leftovers are gonna secure the left hand side.
Be a split, I think.
I would imagine Torpedo are gonna secure the right hand side. Yeah. And we'll just go 1 for 1.
Don't see them going any other way. You can see Apollo on the right-hand side. Gamehunter cleared the wave out already. Nika playing this very defensive early. No surprise. He's going to rotate around for the Fire Imps and get himself a little bit of a lead for now. Over here and with the Golden Bow, not even wasting anything other than in-hands.
In the middle, full lane control coming out. And there's the aggressive Thunder Crash that we've basically seen from Cherryo. Non-stop jumping for Murrdurr just off the mark. Not going to have a stun.
Oh, Badgah's body block was huge to force the issue, but Gamehunter is going to get a solo kill on Nika.
Nika.
Wow.
Welcome to Hunters in the Soul
We're
Lane.
going to call that RNG crit. I'm pretty sure when we see the first blood after the game, that'll be an RNG crit that paid off. Or 2.
I mean, Nika not able, like, once he gets stand switch, the lane becomes much easier for him, but clearly poked out. I'm assuming he might have been mezzed out of his Fearless and or something awkward. Actually teleports over the right-hand side, and it looked like he was trying to get aggressive.
It did look like he was trying to get aggressive, but he teleported. That's the big key there. Now had to pick up that relic after dying early. He may not have wanted to go for that, honestly, but he's now invested into it to try and defend Gamehunter. Already putting the pressure on, showing Hunter's solo could be viable.
It's definitely something that Torpedo want to try and experiment with. We saw Gamehunter play a lot of Hou-Yi coming out of relocations and kind of in the first week, just wanting to experiment, wanting to really play around their carry and Gamehunter, and that's what he is. Gamehunter is a carry player.
And the big key about this as well is that Hunters love blue buff. That's why we took it away from them 2 seasons ago, right? And yet now they can get it back if they go solo lane. With Golden Bow to be able to survive. Left-hand side, a lot of aggression on Moex, has to separate away Arkkyl. And Badgah playing this lane very, very well so far.
Really good pressure coming out of leftovers from the duo and mid combination. And that's what they, I think, have to rely on. It's kind of like, Tyr, good luck, Nika. Have fun. We are going to try and make plays before Gamehunter is allowed to get enough, basically, mana pool to ult over. And that's one of the things about Apollo is that while he does have this global ult, and it's very useful in the mid and late game, he actually doesn't have the mana pool to ult over, even at full mana. He actually lands down a little bit early. He definitely can't make it from solo to duo. He can make it to solo to mid, but he lands down with no mana to cast any abilities.
However, he will be getting blue buff all game.
It's still like it's not like 100 to 0. You're not. It's not like a mana potion, right? It's not ticking that much.
Of course, but I mean, he's still going to give you some mana.
It's not enough. Not for like not until he's like level 10.
Mid Harpies not available just yet on either side. They're going to be up in about another 30 seconds as Badgah and Arkkyl, well, they were swinging into the jungle to try and look for them, walking around the corner. Not going to find anything for now, so just head back towards their own side for their own balls right about now. And just that 1 kill for Gamehunter on the board. And you can see the difference in damage between the solo laners here, and that's just range versus melee more than anything else.
And that's good positioning coming out from Gamehunter, actually not electing to go into any life, still going to find Boots 3, so a lot of damage and a big power spike. His blue buff is being pressured, but leftovers recognize that Gamehunter has rotated and the rest of Torpedo are going to successfully defend it.
And this was the opportunity that Torpedo had. Always getting last pick. They choose Chaos side. They give last pick to Gamehunter every game. His Osiris lane, he dominated against Nika on the Raven. This game, he gets to see it's a turn. He's like, well, in this case, I'll take Apollo and try and make something happen. Left Harpy's going to be contested, though.
Blinking from Murrdurr. Snipe onto Cherryo. He'll be able to Thunder Crash out, but Badgah in an awkward spot. Just going to dash away. Thor took to the sky, but Torpedo try and either set up a kill or at least force the team off of mid-Harpies.
I mean, they forced them off, but that was a warning shot more than anything, and leftovers should be recognized what's about to happen every time now. Belly flop into raw snipe, intoxicate every time. Cherryo will be well aware of that now, and we'll watch his position
he already knew that. Yeah. That's the whole combo. That is the whole 100 to 0 combo.
There's also Nija as well.
You could see, the Naja combo coming out, Windfire Wheels. It's a guaranteed setup as long as Korinyo has the timing.
They're going to look to pressure the blue buff out. Nika here to try and defend. Going to get stunned and sashed. Blue buff goes the way. Murrdurr disengages. NinjaBobat under pressure. Heals himself.
He has his ult,
but he's not going to use it. Meanwhile, Gamehunter pressuring the tower.
2-on-4, honestly, that is something Torpedo could have turned around, but a little bit unsure, I think, of where Raijin and Thor were. They were off the map. They didn't watch them back. So the safe play for the squad of Torpedo for now, and they've got a little bit under 1,000 gold lead. A lot of that coming off of Gamehunter right now, has a 800 direct gold lead. So not only does he have the 500 gold for an individual first blood, but also has continuously pressured Nika under his tower.
I love the ward placements actually coming out from Gamehunter on his right-hand side of the map. You can see he's got 2 defensive wards placed just in case of jungler rotating on that Thor, looking for ganks on him early. And I think that's what they really need to be doing, is trying to pick off Thor, pick off this Apollo now and allow Tyr to just get himself online.
Mid lane, a taunt coming out. Thunder Crash from Cherryo, very aggressive. Double tap is going to connect, but jungler can't teleport in.
Bit risky to do so. I don't think he would have.
No, I don't think that would have been
anyway.
If Bobat actually would have been able to immediately turn around and ult him, jungler would have been guaranteed dead more than likely.
All that poke though means that he had to return to base, and Bacchus goes back for the first time for Murrdurr there.
No, he's paired with the
Gonna
Raw.
go for Medjai's. Huh?
He's paired with the Raw. He doesn't have to go back. He has a self heal in his kit.
Good
He's
call.
got the,
yeah,
the
okay,
Raw
Bummers
heal as well.
Bummers as well. Badgah goes back, however, though. Medjai's online. Sorry, Badgah goes back. I'm so used to seeing Badgah playing Bacchus.
Right.
Than anything. But
right.
It's going to be Murrdurr playing Bacchus. He's got Medjai's. Went for Salvation at the start, and you can see Athena.
And I'm used to Murrdurr playing Athena as well. It's kind of like the state
well,
of gods.
Badgah going to get a taunt onto NinjaBobat, who doesn't have Purification or any health left.
All right, maybe he should have
Badgah gets
backed.
credit for the kill.
Maybe he should have backed.
He was on full health.
He should have backed.
He would have lived.
Should have listened to you, man. You know you better.
I guess I do.
Nice combination coming out, recognizing that Bobat had his purification down after that fight in the middle lane. Leftovers now going to look to invade this red buff, knowing that Naja cannot contest, and it doesn't look like anyone is going to be able to combine for it. A little bit off. Cherryo, though, had purification activated, so wouldn't have been knocked up even if Murrdurr had hit it.
Yeah, Cherryo gets some good damage off. Purification was used by him, though, to avoid the damage just in case, like you said. Gamehunter going to return over towards his blue buff. Now you can see Nika's following him in the jungle there on that right-hand side towards that blue buff. Could be an interesting trade-off, but he's going to be careful about a potential rotation from Torpedo, so changes his mind, goes back to farming.
I'm really surprised we haven't seen Thor ult aggressively once. Two-man taunt, though, Korinyo holding his beads, no follow-up, and a...
That crash, it was actually to help Badgah, who was in trouble, and Jungler's going to actually ult Cherryo. Cherryo's in the sky, and he will fall down just to that as Jungler comes crashing in. Cherryo, not enough health to survive as Moex came around with a disapparator there, forcing Arkkyl to backflip away.
Badgah got a dash forward. I'm assuming that was a little bit of a misclick. No one to follow up. Badgah going to get those back harpies, but look at this. I mean, no fear. Murrdurr just walking around the jungle, looking at jungler.
It's Bacchus, though. That's the big thing about it. Now they're going to go look for the for the red buff steal in the jungle in response. Take that one away, so the red buffs end up trading out.
This is big for Torpedo, because not only that, the boars on left-hand side just spawned. The mid camps are up. There's a ton of jungle to steal, but they actually didn't see the boars spawn. They walk away.
Gamehunter just
a little bit too soon.
Nika's blue buff.
The invades have been real coming up from Torpedo. They're up 2-1 in kills and over 1,000 gold.
Gamehunter just spotted Nika doing his blue buff, walked over and stole it. You can see that just because the buff's down now and no blue buff on Nika.
Poor Nika, man. Gets first blooded by an Apollo, has all his camp stolen.
Got one hand.
I'm pretty sure the last 2 blue buffs have been stolen, because we saw NinjaBobat, excuse me, in there as well, stealing away. Nika
he's trying to body
some
block
poke.
shots more than anything to try and wait for his next minion wave to
He's
come
just
in.
taking poke. I mean,
he loses gold for that. He's going to go back to base. Teleports up in 5 seconds. Aggression in the jungle, though, from Murrdurr. Going to get the belch off onto Badgah to give him a stun, but nobody's around to follow that one up.
Why are people playing this skin? Don't get me wrong. I like the Athena skin, but the audio is actually so loud, like much louder than just a typical dash wind-up.
You had that conversation with DM yesterday. I also had the same conversation.
Am I crazy? Like, maybe I'm wrong, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that's like the most telling sign, right? Sometimes you won't notice the Athena charge up or dash, but like when there's police sirens going off, I gotta ask about that. Maybe you don't hear it as loud in game.
I mean, we'll find out.
That's a really fun skin.
We just don't get to play enough to find out ourselves. Otherwise, we'd know and be like, yeah, that's really loud. I don't know why they did that. I guess not, because otherwise these players wouldn't be using it.
Hey, man.
This is professional play. People don't use some of the Loki skins because of that. Pressure on to NinjaBobat, who takes a lot of poke from the drum beats of Cherryo. Left-hand side, Murrdurr gets aggressed on. Backflip from Arkkyl to safety, avoiding the sash of NinjaBobat. Gold Fury still stands for either side, and Nika finally gets to go back to base. after Gamehunter kept him there forever.
Forever. Badgah charging his dash. Taunt going to be up in a couple seconds. 3 players all grouped up. Going to find 2. There's the drums of Thor looking for the combination. Eliminated. Bobat falls.
And Jungler's going to take to the skies. Murrdurr gets hit by the World Weaver. I don't think they want to really follow up on that Bacchus. But a nice pick onto NinjaBobat with Cherryo working well with the taunt.
I'm really surprised it took us that long to kind of see that combination. Thor, Athena, Raijin, a lot of setup, a lot of beads burners. But still, takes them 10 minutes to try and force an engagement. I guess a little bit scared of the counter engage. Gold Fury still up, hasn't even been looked at by either team.
I actually think it's also because of Badgah being level 10 now. He's got more points invested into his taunt, which is the big key. The taunt doesn't last as long in the early ranks, so you don't get that chance for Cherryo to prime his ultimate, which takes a little wind up, to be fair.
Now the team's going to be backing, though, Badgah, finishing off his Urchin. Going to probably have to build into Bulwark next. You can see a lot of magical damage on the side of Torpedo, Raw, Bacchus, Soul. I do expect to see some very early magical defense from these players. We've seen how effective these mages can be with a lot of teams and a lot of players not building into magical protection early, not respecting it, or at the very least, expecting themselves to avoid a lot of the damage.
Pestilence is an option for him as well. He could go for Curse when he gets to that level 12, but Gold Fury started by Torpedo here. Badgah aware of it, but nobody else is. They're not going to get there in time either. Gold Fury goes the way of Torpedo. Badgah taunts 2 in, but there's still no follow-up from his team. He's still aggressing on Bobat, going to get a wall, but...
That's a really good place. Well, I'm really surprised we didn't see the follow-up. Korinyo, the ult was down. They knew that. Murrdurr, no ult as well.
Just no follow-up available, and there was no ult available for jungler either.
I feel like leftovers, it seems, are really looking for the late game, just kind of based on how they've been playing. There's the ult. No purification on Korinyo.
Gonna look in, get the taunt off, follow-up from Badgah. There's the drums of war. Badgah gets the kill again. He's now on a killing spree. So much damage coming out from Cherryo there. He crashes in, looking for Bobat under the tower, but he took a lot of poke. He does get hit by the Intoxicate. Blink in from Nika, but the wall will stop the Fearless Chain. Apollo's on his way. Gamehunter, help us. We need your help.
He's looking for someone. It's going to be Cherryo. Thundercrash not up just yet. Nika ready to peel in case he needs it, and Gamehunter not able to make an effective use of that rotational power. And it's going to be 2 picks for leftovers. They did lose the Gold Fury, and I think that's still a win for Torpedo.
Still a win for Torpedo, and they actually get the tier 1 tower on the right-hand side as well, so their gold lead should have shot up a little bit more. You can see leftovers trying to push mid, but it's a 1,000 experience difference, which isn't that bad. No real difference there. I was saying 1,500 gold. When you split that between 5, it's not as much as you think.
The burst, too much. Actually...
That was a nice play from Murrdurr to try and survive there, but the follow damage from his teammates saves the day.
I don't know about that. He was guaranteed dead by jumping in place. No follow-up to finish off a kill.
Could have potentially killed us.
No.
You can dream, right?
Yeah, he can dream. Please. He's going to be dreaming in the fountain as well.
Well, while he's dreaming in the fountain, the rest of his team going to march on mid lane with this full minion wave here. And you can see Gamehunter is swinging around the side as well. This is 2 carries to try and poke down this tower. They're going to get some decent poke off here. Cherryo, no ultimate available, as you're aware of at the moment, but Gamehunter not going to be there. Meanwhile, Arkkyl, split push to victory.
Free tower, but you can see the rotations coming in. He should get his back off in time. Nice play, giving up the guaranteed tower to make sure he stays alive, make sure Torpedo can't get anything off of his death, and kind of just one really well played.
I mean, they get the tier 1 tower mid lane now, or at least they should. No, Gamke mid lane. Jungler did just ult in, and Nika turned up as well with his ultimate, but they don't find the pick on NinjaBobat. Badgah's there, looking for the taunt, going to find it onto Korinyo, forcing purification. World Weaver hits on to Nika, sorry, not onto Nika, on to NinjaBobat, but it wasn't going to be enough for a kill.
NinjaBobat also managing to hold his purifications for that engagement, and so no follow-up from leftovers.
There is one problem with leftovers, though. 3 of the kills so far have gone the way of Badgah. And I would love to have seen the 5 kills that Jungler's been involved in, him at least get a couple of those instead. Would have been nice.
That's true. But the question is, how is he going to transition? We've seen multiple builds. We've seen some Thors elect to go straight into the damage. You'll more than likely see a beat stick, which is going to be effective against Gamehunter, Bobat, and Korinyo as well. Or is he going to go into the more tanky lineup where we'll see, an Urchin, which there are actually a lot of Urchins in this game. There's 2 over on the side of Torpedo. You can see that's actually Gamehunter building into the Urchin.
Yeah.
That's a little bit interesting. So wanting to survive, and I do kind of understand it, right? You look at
Korinyo's going to get heavily bursted in the last room. Will miss the crash missions, but Jungler will finally get himself a kill. But yeah, go back to what Apollo's doing here. Going for this Hide of the Urchin build by the looks of it.
It's interesting because a lot of members of Torpedo, right, they're all carries. They don't, and especially if Murrdurr's going to be the initiator, if he's the one jumping in, there is 0 peel for Torpedo, so they need to protect themselves, either fighting together or whatever it is. Mid lane, though, aggression coming out from Badgah.
They're looking for the pick onto Cherryo, and they actually find a big flop from Murrdurr, allowed him to get in there and pick the kill.
No!
Dog from Jungler will save him, as well as the meditation coming out. Actually, may have made an impact there as well, but it didn't. No, there was no meditation on Lion. He just managed to survive, but Gamehunter's rotation is here, and he's looking to run away as well.
He's going to be chased.
Doesn't get connect.
By Nika, red buff will be secured. It looks by leftovers, but I mean, Gamehunter coming up with a big pick in the back line.
Just doing what he needs to do, and the thing is, poor Nika's had to just deal with Gamehunter all game, not seeing any pressure from Thor in the jungle whatsoever on that side of the map.
It's really hard to gank an Apollo, especially as a Thor. He just has every single tool is so effective against Thor. Not only the Mez to stop either the hammer or the Berserker's barrage, but in addition to that, he gets protections from it. Right, you have to gank by baiting out the Mez. And that's what Nika would have to do, is kind of like put himself in a position where he's guaranteed to get Mezzed and then have Thor dunk in.
Build-wise, Raijin in the mid lane. Cherryo going for the winged wand here, just to give himself the extra, basically, health as well as the ability to escape the slows, which will be collected from both Korinyo and NinjaBobat and Moex as well, when you take that one into account. And even Murrdurr, people don't realize it, belly flop, slows.
We also have, I mean, he has damage in his kit. We've seen how effective, you know, these mages are, more specifically Raijin, right? Even though he hasn't been able to win anything but a single game, a lot of times topping the damage charts, and not always, you know, fully damaged out. A lot of times you'll see the Dynasty plate helm instead, and that's, I think, him just wanting the immunity to the slows instead of the physical protection in this, against this highly magical composition.
Makes sense. You talked about Badgah as well, getting some magical defense, and he's doing that already. We'll see where he goes with that, whether it's going to be towards a Pestilence or the Bulwark, which we've seen more often than not. Gamehunter pressuring Nika under the tower once more. Level 17 to level 15 so far, and Gamehunter can take a few more shots with that height of the Urchin now.
He's not worried. Honestly, we could see a pretty effective split pusher if he elects to go into any penetration like Crusher or Titan's Bane. Very effective against towers, and just, honestly, he's just keeping Nika here. Nika no teleport, and if Torpedo force something, honestly, the ults from Gamehunter going to be effective at getting himself over there, and I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Is he going to do it?
That's I thought he was getting on his chariot. I was wrong.
One thing I did know about him, I should just realize now, he's taken Blink.
Gamehunter does what he wants, man.
He's Gamehunter. He got a panic kill. That's what you say. Did he get a panic kill in a tournament? Yes.
Okay.
Do what he wants. Same with Cyclone Spin. I mean, he picks Carly AD carry.
He's got 2 panic kills.
He's got 2 official ones.
He's got, yeah, like 2 more, like, unofficial ones. Disgusting.
Goffy being contested here. Murrdurr going to get the almost a belly flop off onto Arkkyl, but Arkkyl gets a backflip away, and now Murrdurr under pressure. Going to get jumped on by Cherryo. Wall, double tap hits as well. But it's a Bacchus, and Chug gives you some defense.
Yeah, I believe it's percentage damage reduction on top of the Urchin he already has. Mid lane, Raw's going to be able to heal him back up, and that's something that leftovers have to be worried about. The combo has been turned around.
NinjaBobat walls
Wrong
up the rest
side
of the team.
Of the wall.
The damage as well coming through. The wall from Cherryo was huge as he crashes in now. But Korinyo and Murrdurr trying to turn this one around. Flop misses. World Weaver channeled, but going to hit Murrdurr.
Trying to find NinjaBobat maybe, but Bobat's going to be able to make it back.
He committed a rotation then, and now look what's going to happen. Gamehunter's going to get that tier 2 tower for free. I don't think Nika's going to get there. He actually had to ult back to that wave on the right-hand side to defend the tower, but he's got like 1 hit from death now, the tier 2 on the right.
Gamehunter going to ult out, but he's not too worried about it. Just going to go get his blue buff, backspin, his gold. Can we actually see gold in hand? I want to see where Apollo's at.
Let's just see Moex in hand right now. Looking for the damage onto Jungler. The tower's going to fall, though. And the golden hand is 1800 for Gamehunter.
So I'll be interested to see what he elects to actually build into next, whether it's going to be attack speed or maybe an execute. No, it's Titan's Bane. He's going for split push.
Split push Apollo. Oh, come into a game near you.
Kill me now.
With Height of the Urchin.
Yeah, it's split. It's Golden Bow, Chin Size, Urchin, Titan's Bane, split push Apollo. I can hear the cries of Twitch chat. No. As if Loki and Bastet didn't annoy them enough.
I mean, to be fair, what's Loki like against Apollo? Wasn't Loki Apollo matchup?
Apollo actually has a very good time against Loki.
There you go, kids at home. If you're having issues against Loki, pick Apollo with Golden Bow.
You have to be good, though.
In your ranked games, and people will love you for it. You will not get one shot. Trust me.
Stop encouraging.
They
all hate me now.
You said it. It wasn't me.
That was actually you who said it.
I asked you.
I said Apollo has a good matchup against Loki directly in a fight.
I asked you, and you got baited. Baited and outsmarted, as per usual, Adanas. As per usual.
Mid lane, Jungler gonna miss his ult, or excuse me, NinjaBobat gonna miss the ult. Cherryo goes up into his, trying to find the counter damage. Thor lands down, but whiffs by a wide margin. Doesn't matter. Badgah with a fantastic taunt.
However, Moex is here looking for the pressure onto Jungler. Gonna throw out the wall for defense. Badgah's not scared of staying in this fight now. Arkkyl has turned up, as has Nika. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Split Push City is continuing as the fight in mid subsides.
2 players gonna be able to back those, so no Phoenix for Gamehunter, but those 2 players are now going to be stuck defending. No gold theory could be picked up by leftovers, and this is just going to be an annoyance. This is just going to be something that leftovers have to be aware of all game. Korinyo in a little bit of an awkward spot, but actually it's Murrdurr who jumps in, finds 2.
Badgah's dash was cancelled there, but Gamehunter just blinked over the wall, looking for pressure on Nika. Hey, Tyr, how do you like it? But he got poked out heavily. The Gamehunter has to retreat to safety of his team now.
Urchin not stacked up, and that's one thing too. Gamehunter actually may not actually be able to stack that up too effectively if he's split pushing the whole time. We'll have to see. A very low kill game.
It is a low kill game, but he's been all over the map. There's been fights everywhere.
2,700 gold lead right now for Torpedo, as I think that's just the Gold Fury and a little bit of a farm and steal, most notably from Gamehunter.
Well, we mentioned the Gold Fury as well. The big key here is that they've got 2 members. So you've got members on either team that are very good at securing it. Cherryo has his ultimate available to do it. Raw can do the same. Bacchus, also another very good one for Gold Fury. It's secure, so got to be careful of it.
So Torpedo's entire lead is on Gamehunter right now, basically.
Yep.
Outside of like 100 here or there, depending on player. Gold Fury going to be started up, though. Moex is around here. Jungler is just zoning off the rest of the team.
Jungler's zone has been great. And there's the drums of war coming out from Cherryo to actually zone him on and put some damage out if you can find it. Gamehunter is in the sky there, but so is... Who disappeared? Oh, it's Thor. Okay, Jungler. I was like, where did he go? I thought it was Ninja.
The team actually, so this is actually
Gamehunter?
Gamehunter stayed up in the air for so long that he baited the players of leftovers to running around in circles, which allowed the rest of Torpedo to catch up. Tyr already forced out of the fight. NinjaBobat actually could get turned on. Yeah, Badgah coming up with a big play.
4v1, gonna get a kill, but Gamehunter trades it back. Finally, get himself a hide of the Urchin stack. Gold Fury did fall down, though, to leftovers. However, Torpedo might be able to punish some towers on this left-hand side. However, Nika is back with the teleport to defend.
Neith and Thor here as well. 4 players strong. Torpedo, they've got the raw heal as well. They're just going to be focusing on the tower. They don't want to force too much. Actually, they could force too much. Intoxicate used. Neith's going to backflip, but no, it's just the tower. Yep. They're going to put out poke and then reset.
Yeah, Murrdurr going to tank that out for days quite happily. Even though he's only level 14, he's very tanky with that Breastplate of Valor and Hide of the Urchin online. So he'll be perfectly fine to just walk back. So they do take the T1 tower, but they're not going to overstay their welcome here.
Cherryo.
Oh,
Jungler in the sky. That CDR very effective. It's Max. He's going to find Korinyo, who is going to Purification. And Jungler actually going to get turned on.
Korinyo.
Eliminated. Korinyo, big play. Nika over the top, but can't follow up.
Really nice dive from Korinyo. He actually hit Cherryo as well. And Cherryo was like, nope, I'm out. Peace. I'm not having any more of that. He'll go back to mid and farm up. So Torpedo, they lost to Gold Fury. They picked up a couple of kills and the tier 1 tower. So when we go to the graphs, you'll see Torpedo still in the lead because more than anything, Gamehunter is split push on the right.
Now, Murrdurr continuing into this red buff doesn't want to allow leftovers to get it for free. Badgah getting beat away. Jungler going to find Nika, who's not very tanky, it seems, although builds might tell you otherwise. Takes about half his life, should be able to heal it up. And Torpedo now, like, they're the siege comp now. They're the ones who are trying to reset, force as many ultimates as they can, and heal up with Raw.
Look at me, I am the siege comp now. Badgah going to go in and get a taunt onto 3. The heals are coming out too. Murrdurr still tanking this one up quite happily. Cherryo with the drums of war, get some good damage off. Korinyo hit a snipe, but it wasn't enough to bring down any kills.
Torpedo. Win for Torpedo. They just need to back up, heal, but it looks like they're actually on full retreat, wasting most of their ults themselves. Don't want to get turned on. Jungler, Max EDR has his ult up. And something we didn't really talk about is there was 3 globals onto leftovers, really not utilizing them in the early game.
It's very true. I mean, obviously Badgah used his ult too much this game, more often than
Thor
not.
as well, right? He's been active now more recently, but for the first 10 minutes, he didn't gank a single lane.
And talking about Badgah again, just want to reiterate, he's been involved in every kill. However, he has 5 of those kills. That's not what you really
carry.
want. To be fair,
what
was it, 3v1 he picked up a kill?
4v1.
4v1.
Yeah, NinjaBobat getting a little bit too greedy in the middle of that team fight. Gamehunter, though, let's see Golden Hand. I want to see what he's going to build into now. If it's Crusher, everyone. Please don't be Crusher. Please don't be Crusher. He needs about 40 more gold, so I think if that's what he is, he's going to wait for it.
He's going to wait?
No, it's going to be Crusher. Okay, Executioner.
Executioner. Okay. You happy now?
Not really.
In before he sells Golden Bow.
He actually is very effective against the frontliners. Badgah, Jungler, and Nika more than likely going to be shredded pretty quickly. Something that they're going to have to worry about.
Indeed they will. 8-5 scoreline, 25 minutes in. Not a high kill game, but action has been pretty good, honestly, overall. Golf Fury is due to spawn again in another minute 30. War coverage from Torpedo. They're trying to control the jungle and just pin back leftovers now. Surprised that we're seeing Gamehunter group with them, though, Adanas. I'm expecting them to like go to the left-hand side and look for the tier 2 there.
But it seems like I think they want to force a pick or two, and they just want to siege. You can see this mid tower, it's low for now.
I mean, you're right as well. It's like sustain.
They
That's
have
the issue.
they have
to
sustain. Not only in their own kits with Naja, but also Ra, just going Rod of Asclepius, so going to increase his healing by 20% for anyone around him.
Ra, Sol, all have self-heals. On top of that, they've also got Murrdurr with that meditation.
Can we highlight Rod of Asclepius real quick as well?
Rod of Sleep.
Rod of Sleep. Something to note is health regeneration of allies. So this doesn't just mean Korinyo's heals are more effective. This means NinjaBobat's and Moex's heals are also more effective on their own.
Correct. And not just that, meditation will also help out from Murrdurr on Badgah too. And Badgah will be happy to engage if he sees an opening. Taunt, they're looking to burst down Murrdurr of all people. He chugs. He's fine. Half health. Going to heal himself up a little bit. Now we're going to see Gamehunter look for the split push to the left-hand side. Nika, once again, having to try and defend. Gets
Nika
meds.
can't fight this.
Once again, you can't as Tyr.
We've seen the penetration build that Gamehunter has gone. Nika can't even finish off the wave, and Gamehunter just going to be slowly chipping away at this tower. The rotation now is going to come, but he's not too worried. You could see the rest of the team forcing the mid now,
and
that leftovers have been split.
Murrdurr going to go in, go with the flop, not find it, crash from Cherryo. He's going to use the drums of war for the damage here. Tier 2 tower falls in mid. Teammates of leftovers have arrived in support. NinjaBobat missed his ultimate and will pay the price.
Tier 2 in the mid lane, and now a Tier 2 over in the left-hand side as well. Nika, though, and the rest of leftovers, they want to fight this. Lawbringer over the top. It's Murrdurr who's caught out. He's going to jump. He will get turned around as Nika finds that one. Badgah wants Moex, but look at that.
They're still chasing. They've got it back because Gamehunter's going to get a Phoenix on the left-hand side. Badgah versus Moex on this side. They will find the kill for Arkkyl, but they'll lose a Phoenix in trade.
Maybe. They might be able to get in time. No, Gamehunter.
Peace.
Split push Apollo, boys. It's back.
It's back, and it means business, at least for Torpedo and Gamehunter. He's also going to strip away the red buff. Nice little prize for his victory of the Phoenix. And when he walks back, he might even find the Golf Fury.
Leftovers don't lose a single player, but they lose 2 towers and a Phoenix. They're also not in a position to force any objective. You can see even if they go to the Fire Giant, I don't think they can burst it down. They have to worry about their other lanes. Gold Fury is open as well. 6,000 in the lead.
Have to worry about Raw Snipe. They have to worry about
forcing
potentially
Bacchus. They're going the risky play. Actually,
Korinyo back.
He's back. He didn't
this
know
is an
what was
opportunity
happening.
for leftovers to get control of this game then and try and whittle this back.
No, they have this.
It's
long as Badgah zones. Oh, Nika's trying to zone too. They actually don't have the damage because there's 2 players.
No, they'll get in time.
Okay.
Apollo's not got ult. He's going to go down. The Fire Giant goes the way of leftovers. They can try and push them way back in and take some towers back now. And technically, leftovers will be in the lead then, even though the Phoenix is down.
Yeah, you get that 6,000 gold lead, contributing to about an item for each player, a little bit under, but the Fire Giant buff going to be contributing that same amount right back, like you said, dead even game.
Here's the story, though. It's like, do you trade? You get 3 kills on them and a Fire Giant in trade for 2 tier 2 towers and a Phoenix. Would you take that trade? Interesting one.
I think so. Especially considering that leftovers have been, even though Torpedo has less kills, like Torpedo have kind of had control of the game for the most part. So this gives you a lot of momentum back because Torpedo now a little bit worried about fighting into you because they're not that far ahead. As well as you can just have your Phoenix respawn on the left side. And as long as someone deals with Gamehunter. Now, if Gamehunter is able to successfully split push and split your team up again,
and
then it's
realistically,
worrisome.
Torpedo have been playing this 4v5. They've just got push bot on their side just working.
I mean, it's not really 4v5. This is a calculated strategy coming out from Torpedo. You've seen so many players forced to try and defend against Gamehunter that leftovers, even though they're winning, even though they're getting kills, they're losing so many objectives. And once again, they get Gold Theory, and they got it back to defend.
Got it back to defend because Gamehunter was pushing. Surprising factor is Gamehunter's damage was actually up there, and it was second on the charts overall. Highest in his team, even though he's basically just been boxing Nika all day is the reason.
And he's shredding Nika. I mean, look at all the penetration he has. He actually elects to finish off Golden Bow, so still finding usefulness in that item. I'm a little bit surprised we don't see him going a Rage Blade.
I'm surprised how well Cherryo's doing to bring up his team here because he's the only one over 10,000 damage on his side at all, yet they still have the kill lead. which says a lot about Cherryo making a big impact in this game.
Moex looking for a Spear of Desolation for his last item. You can see his build, a lot of damage. Can we actually highlight Moex? I want to see how much magical power he has right now. I'm assuming it's 500 or upwards.
Should be around there.
660.
Probably Spear of Desolation.
Has red buff.
They're going to try and defend mid lane here, grouping up from leftovers to try and potentially push it, but they've got to leave Tyr on the left here to defend the Phoenix from those fire minions coming through once again. And Gamehunter is actually hanging in the wing on the right-hand side here just to support his team if leftovers try to overcommit.
This is something that Apollos always have to worry about in the later stage of the game. While you could split push and obviously ult over the fight, you need to be careful. Badgah, two-man
onto two. Gamehunter swinging round onto Arkkyl, who gets annihilated and forced to backflip away.
Boom!
Snipe connected from Korinyo to confirm it. The drums over the wall do good damage, but Gamehunter and the boys of Torpedo tanky enough with the sustain to stay alive. And now a 4v5. They're going to be able to push on, look for the Phoenix in left potentially, or even mid.
Korinyo coming up with
Big
a
snipe.
massive snipe on the Hunter. Leftovers, no drums of war. Either Nika and Jungler still have their ultimates, but it's going to be this left Phoenix about to spawn in just a second. It's weakened.
It's wise to go to this one first of all.
Torpedo
Use the
playing
fire
it smart.
minions and, yep, go for the Phoenix that's weakened. They've got nobody here that can really stop them. If they're going to try and save this, they need to do so now or look to defend the middle Phoenix.
Now the question is, does Torpedo want to force another Phoenix? Arkkyl going to be spawning in 15 seconds, and that looks exactly what they... I mean, it's that or invade the jungle.
It's 4 members with Fire Giant still. And you've lost most fights you're in. I know it's a 4v5. They could try for this. It's a little bit risky though. Murrdurr gonna tank it up. Flop immediately to the right side onto Cherryo. Snipe went out from Korinyo
Korinyo.
And now the jungler dunks in.
Managing to stay alive for now. Bobat taking out Badgah in response. Neith gets intercepted by Murrdurr. And Torpedo continue to control this game. Now it's again another player picked off. It's the initiator, Badgah. Torpedo still 5 members strong. They have the Raw. They have the middle Phoenix left to siege.
And when you've got a Raw on your side, sieging is a much better deal for sustain. Murrdurr going to go in again. Flop onto Arkkyl, avoid him, stop him from doing the backflip at least. Sanctuary forced. There's the backflip as the Phoenix falls in mid. They swing to right-hand side.
And you can see Thunder Crash just used by Cherryo. He's not going to be able to put himself in a position to defend this. He needs to be careful if he's a little bit too pushed up. You can see him around the wall, has his ult, has the drums of war. He's going to pop it, but no one else has been there for the setup. Oh my word,
Moex nearly lost all his health. Nika actually lawbring it in, gets sniped, still alive though. Arkkyl going very deep, picks up Korinyo, who was hanging around a lot. Lot of bursts from Moex. He's going to force Arkkyl to backflip away to safety, but they still do okay, Torpedo. They get 2 Phoenixes. And the last one will still stand.
I was talking about how Cherryo had no setup. He didn't need setup, apparently. Almost eliminating Moex in 2 shots of the Drums of War. Moex managing to get out, but Korinyo does fall in response. 2 Phoenixes and Torpedo continue. Let me take a look at... Can we look at healing real quick? I want to see how effective this Raw has been. 24,000.
Yep, only 3,500 for Murrdurr, but made an impact with a Mana more than anything else I want to say. In that, we don't really calculate that one, but Mana allowing his team to continue sustaining back up, especially for Ra to be able to continue throwing out the heals. So,
Titan at half life, and this Fire Giant's going to be really hard for leftovers to
You have to contest, though. You don't contest this, you lose the game. That's pretty much the story here. You have to go for the contest. Murrdurr getting aggressive in mid, flops away to safety. Fire Giant is available.
Really surprised we're not seeing Nika push up that fire wave on the left, because all Torpedo has to do is wait for the fire minions to crash through, and then leftovers are going to be forced to try and defend.
They're looking for the pick on NinjaBobat. Here's the taunt hits, and the Willweaver hits too. Jungle with the ult waiting, misses it unfortunately, misses the wall, misses the double tap. Berserker Barrage hit a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to find. Cherryo's having to die for this one.
Done.
Good work from Cherryo to clean up for his team. 4v5 leftovers. Well, they need to go back and defend the Phoenix, and that's where the pings are going right now.
Fire minions starting to push through on the left-hand side. Middle tier 1 is only 1 hit. But look at this, sprints popped. Murrdurr's looking for a big knock-up. He is going to find one, and Arkkyl eliminated. Korinyo picked up in return by Cherryo. Drums of War have already been used.
Gamehunter dashes away, especially with Raichu activating him. He's got to be careful of the burst damage coming out from it. Is it Raichu? No, that's the Pokemon. What's it called? It's something like Raichu.
Which ability?
He's 2.
Percussive Storm? No, that's the 1.
No, he's 2. What's his 2? Raichu! That was right.
Raiju. You said chew.
Raiju, tomato. I was close enough. Whatever. At least I tried to use the ability names. I made up drums and what everyone steals it. Fire Giant being done by Torpedo Gaming now. He's at half health. Badgah is here. He's got Jungler coming up with Thor as well. They forced a reset of Torpedo, which is very surprising when they could have forced that one, I feel.
Left-hand side, the Phoenix about to spawn. Middle Phoenix going to take a little bit while, and I think we're going to see Torpedo start up the split push again once they spawn. And this is just... Torpedo has been playing a very calculated game where even though they're losing these fights, you could see down 14 to 8 in kills. It's been all about splitting the map. It's leftover. It's Gamehunter making leftovers make a decision. They can't like wait on it. They have to do something, and they have to do it immediately. The second the decision is split, the second you see two players try and defend, the split push or the push comes from the other side. It comes from the middle lane.
This is actually Gamehunter's game plan, though. This is his playstyle. He likes to fight 1v1. He likes to do his own thing, and the team need to work around that. TSM of old, when he was on TSM, they used to work around that and have 4v4 fights, and he would be off to his own thing and then turn up late to the fight, pick up pentakills, for example. This time around, he gets to do his own thing again. He used to play a lot of Loki back then. He's now playing the Apollo, doing the split push antics, taking 1v1s that he's dominant in, and looking to give his team the advantage, which is what he's done.
Left-hand side, Gamehunter charging up the dual lane, looking to split push and force leftovers to make a decision. You can see Torpedo.
They're waiting.
They don't want to force this. They don't need to force this.
Torpedo are actually waiting for Gamehunter to get down that left-hand side first of all.
He's got to do red
That's the big
first.
key. He's going to do red first because, you know, why not? It gives you extra damage. Now he's going to rotate down that left, and they'll wait until they show.
Badgah knows, too. Look at him.
Badgah's the right person to defend. But the problem is, it's... Actually,
he's going to get shredded.
No, you reckon? Badgah's the hero they need. He's 5-2 and 8. He's the hard carry of this team in this game.
Look at this. He's trying to stay hidden. He doesn't want them to know where he's at. But that's
He's
the
got
thing,
blink,
though.
by the way.
Leftovers actually have a ward over above Fire Giant. And what this does is they haven't seen Gamehunter on it in a while. So even though Badgah doesn't see him in lane, what he does know is that Gamehunter's trying to do this strategy.
He's going to show himself now after taking the red and clear the wave out one more time. You can see Badgah was looking going towards right then, but now he's going to go back left. Gamehunter, wait for his minion wave. He's got Arkkyl here too.
Arkkyl should hide himself. Arkkyl should hide himself. They could definitely look to force it. There it goes. They need to kill Gamehunter.
He should have told them, and instead we see Torpedo come in on the right, immediately disengaging. Oh no, Gamehunter! Well, Weaver was not channeled in time.
That was a kill that the team needed. Right-hand side, though, Gamehunter can't ult to the team fight, and it looks like Leftovers are going to force this.
This is good play from Leftovers. They're going to stop the Fire Giant being taken by Torpedo Gaming. Collapse onto NinjaBobat, who sashes jungler, forcing the purification. Snipe from Korinyo evaporates the drum beater Cherryo. And now Badgah, well, he's looking to still aggress, but he's going to turn tail because Gamehunter's coming, and Torpedo are just going to sustain back up. They lose the fight, even though they played it right.
Leftovers doing everything right, trying to pick off Gamehunter, just barely unsuccessful, then immediately forcing the fight at the Fire Giant, and then once again Korinyo coming up with the big snipe. I think all three of his kills have been off turnaround snipes. Really impactful kills.
Really impactful kills. Gamehunter joins the rest of Torpedo for the Fire Giant. Nika decides to limp away, not going to try and contest anybody on Leftovers now. Fire Giant goes the way of Torpedo. They've got two weakened Phoenixes to defend and one full one on the right, and I expect to see Torpedo just start barreling to the weakened ones.
Even if they don't go for the weakened ones, they could look for the gold tier. I do expect them to siege before Cherryo has spawned once again. Cherryo, honestly, this Raijin, so effective with the Leftovers, and if he's eliminated, the fight becomes infinitely easier. Jump in by Murrdurr.
Nika, burp onto Arkkyl, Phoenix falls. Left-hand side, rotation once again. Murrdurr will have his cooldowns up once more by the time he gets around there, and they'll be quite happy to do the same thing. Instead, they were thinking about waiting for the minions there.
I think they were, but a mistake in my opinion, and now they lost kind of the small opportunity they had to immediately burn the Phoenix. Is going to be healing up a little bit more. This allows Leftovers to get in position, but they are going to have the minions if they want to wait for that, and Torpedo still down in kills, so far ahead in gold.
Playing it safe is what Torpedo's doing. Leftovers have won the engagements for the most part, but when it matters is right now. This Phoenix falls down. This should be the game in favor of Torpedo. Will they find their first win here, or will Leftovers hang on? Flopping from Murrdurr, and Badgah going to get mezzed immediately before he can taunt. His taunt's still available though, as Disapparate used by Moex. The Phoenix still stands.
Drums of War hit no one. Bobat in a little bit of trouble. Badgah trying to find the taunt, but can't close the gap. It's Nika over the top, but Bobat finds the counter.
But will he live on the landing is the question. I don't think he will. He will fall down, as does Nika, with a very nice shot from Korinyo coming out with the Searing Pain. They're now looking for the Phoenix. Nope, Murrdurr going to dive in, pick up Badgah. He's now full. Raid boss is down, so to speak, as is the Phoenix.
2 players now dead for leftovers. Torpedo have only dropped the NinjaBobat. They still have Fire Giant and the Raw, and you can see them just back off. Don't force anything. Sustain up. They could go to the Gold Fury, look to invade camps, or try and siege this final Phoenix.
I just don't understand why they're not trying to force this now. I mean, they've got the opportunity to do it with 5
This is the best opportunity.
Fire
Gamehunter, though,
Giant.
going to get the wave. But the problem is, for me, is that this is just allowing Nika and Badgah a better chance to kind of come back into this one. And now the team, they're ignoring the wave. They're going to go straight for the Phoenix.
Gonna look for the Phoenix, flop in from Murrdurr once again. I've been saying that a lot. Jungler's in the sky, though, looking for the dunk in. As we will see Gamehunter get the kill, and Mez to get himself out of danger once again to safety. Phoenix falls, and that should be all. The Phoenix is down. Just waiting for 5 minutes to pour in now.
The team going to heal up. Are they going to try and siege, or are they going to go for... Like, there's so much up if they want to spin their gold. Can we see gold in hand, or does Torpedo want to end? 4,500 for Gamehunter.
But he's full build already. They're waiting for 5 minions more than anything to barrel down mid lane, which is
they
the
want to
risk
end.
they took.
45 seconds on Arkkyl. 1 second on Badgah. He's going to spawn up.
Ninja
This is surprising from Torpedo. They've been very calculated.
NinjaBobat is on his way as well, so... They wait for him, it'll be a 4v5 for about 10 seconds, I want to say. Instead, though, Fearless from Nika was very, very good there to put pressure on Korinyo, who's still alive. The wall came out from jungler, but he didn't manage to find the damage on Korinyo he was looking for, as I believe the Sanctuary, no, it was not Sanctuary, he just avoided the double tap. 5 minions coming down the left-hand side, and Torpedo group in mid, and heal.
Badgah, though, had all grouped up, didn't want to taunt just yet. No follow-up in position. 5 players strong. Torpedo, they're going to charge down. Leftovers, they're 5-member strong as well. And Badgah coming in from behind them. Nika dives to the back line looking for Korinyo, who has no relics left, and there's the Athena ult as well.
Moex is looking for the Phoenix, sorry, for the Titan here, potentially. Murrdurr on the front side. They're trying to pick off Badgah on the right-hand side there, who gets away. Moex evaporates jungler. Nika in trouble. He'll fall. 2 double kill for Moex.
1,000 health left. Gamehunter finds the double kill. And leftovers. Badgah can't defend against the 4 players left. Torpedo still 0 wins to their name. Leftovers coming in at 4-2 after the first 2 weeks.
Torpedo won that game.
What did I say?
You said leftovers
won
that game.
Going to go back in time. A split coming out. Leftovers taking the first one. Torpedo respond. Really good siege, though, coming out. April Fools.
Torpedo win that game convincingly. Oh, well, not convincingly. To be fair, the end of the game, they took very, very long to end. I think they were really scared of throwing. That was the big key there.
They were.
However, we do have Gamehunter on the line, back in action from the solo lane. Gamehunter, how are you doing?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Yeah,
how you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. Not too bad. Enjoyed your plays today. You pulled out some unconventional for us. We've seen Apollo back. What was the reason for the Apollo pick?
I think it's because my team keeps talking about. I mean, obviously, I want to play what I like, as you already talked about, and they always tell me that we want initiation, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play 2 things I like: Apollo, and I love you some Blink. So there's a lot of things you can set up with like the Blink mess. It's kind of like the combo playstyle as well. So.
Talk to me about the build. Going in early urgent, was this just for survivability? Was the idea to split push and be that front line?
No, it was the thought of thinking in and basically instantly dying when I blinked in. I did not want to die when I blinked in, obviously. So that's pretty much the reason for the urchin. It was just the fastest, I guess, most protection build I could go for.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the Apollo pick in general, just to check on this as well, would you have picked that into anything that we saw Nika pick there, or was it just in certain matchups you're going to pick the Apollo option?
No, I would have probably picked it against anything, but Tyr made it a lot easier because I can just miss out his dash, so it made it a lot easier for me to lane against that.
Would you go this without Golden Bow, the buff, or does this help your God pool, right? The recent Golden Bow buff, we've seen you play Hunters in the soul lane before. Does this mean we're going to be seeing more of this out of you, or are you going to continue kind of just splitting depending on the lineup?
I'm just splitting. I'll play whatever my team needs, but I'm going to try and combine that with what I like. And yeah, the throwing daggers buff definitely helped me playing the ADCs, because usually the issue with the ADCs is that you can very easily pressure them early on, and the throwing daggers just make sure that you have push. Like that's a pretty big buff on that part.
Very, very true. My final question for you, Gamehunter, actually is how is it to be back in the SPL? That's my major question here, because it's been a while since we've seen you, and you finally made it back onto a team.
Yeah, it's amazing. I missed this so much that I just had to come back, and now not give up this time. That's for sure. I'm a lot stronger than before mentally, so I'm going to try and be in here.
It's good to have you back, Gamehunter. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, Torpedo has been amazing since we picked him up, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Gamehunter. Good luck in the rest of the season. You do find your first win after 4 games played for Torpedo. They managed to split with leftovers, but that's not all we've got today, is it, Adanas?
No, a big matchup to end this Friday. Paradigm taking on Panthera. 2 of the top teams in Europe going at it. The 2 teams that made it to Worlds last year, both looking real good.
And with that, we'll cut to a quick break, get ourselves ready. You should get yourselves ready too, because we should see a barn burner.